away from you today, do you think?
Oh yeah, sort of late in the first quarter and in the whole of the second, they just played some terrific footy, and particularly their capacity to score from stoppage actually really hurt us through that period of the game, and that's an aspect of the game where scoring hasn't been significant from stoppage for most sides this year, and in that period of the game, that was their strongest score source, and that was just a reflection of their greater hunger and hunt and grunt around the ball, and we were trailing in their wake, and that gave them territory of the game, and probably 6 or 7 unanswered goals. So we just couldn't stem the bleeding in that part of the game. The second half, I still feel like they controlled the game in essence, but they didn't have the scoreboard pressure that they had earlier on. But we just couldn't get ourselves back into the contest because they were just tougher and harder. And when we had our chances, sometimes we were out with the footy and we just butchered the ball, and some just slight chances where we could have got ourselves back into the contest with some easy ball movement, and we just miss a target or fumble the ground ball, drop a mark. But that's a reflection where we're at as a side. Perceived pressure, and we make mistakes, and we know we've got a lot of work to do. That, irrespective of the result today, we knew we were out as a footy club, and it's going to take a lot of hard work to get ourselves back up the ladder.
How disappointed were you at the lack of pressure in that second quarter?
Yeah, well, the part of it is credit to the Hawthorn side. Some strong bodies, Nash and Newcombe and Warple, terrific strong body players that have all been around for a fair bit of time, and done their hard yards, and they would have been smart enough if they lost last week. We're still playing some kids through that area of the ground, McKercher and these sorts of guys, and but by and large we got beaten, and we put our hands up in terms of saying that we weren't good enough in that part of the game. They were too good for us in that space, and that's what gave them the territory and gave them the scoring opportunities, and we had nothing to. We tried a few things, and tried taking Zerha into the middle of the ground to give us a bit of strength through there, and he's a bull and got his hands on the footy, but just couldn't break out and help us in that space. So second half we tried combing forward to see if we could get a catch forward, but they beat us across all three lines really. Their forward line got significant opportunities. Their midfield was much stronger than ours, and I thought their defence was really strong too.
You said on Friday that you get a better indication in the next few weeks and starting today where you sat against the competition, given the sense of evenness of the teams playing each other. What's your takeaway from today?
We've got a fair bit of work to do. But as I said on Friday, know what the narrative's going to be. But knew that 18 months ago, 2 years ago, when we took on the job, we needed to change the culture and environment of our footy club, and invest in youth. It's the only way that we can go, and that's what we've done. We don't back away from that. So we know where we're at. I think it's accurate in terms of the sides that we're playing over the next little while. We've got more of a similar age sort of profile of what we have, but today suggested we've still got a hell of a lot of work to do with the way that we want to play the footy. I said on all three facets of the game, whether they had it, we had it, or the ball was in dispute, I thought they were the stronger side in all three of those facets. And if you can't win those three, you're not winning games of footy. We've got some work to do, but I don't think it's any surprise to us. I don't think it's any surprise to the football competition.
Is there anything you do with Sheasel? I know there'll be discussion around where he's playing. He's obviously a great footballer, but playing out of defence. Do you contemplate putting him in the midfield more often?
Yeah, well, he was taken by McGuinness early, and that ended up having him pushed into the middle of the ground. Our biggest challenge is not so much we want Sheasel in other spots on the ground, but it's just the balance of the side. It's just like who do you take to half back to replace him, and you know the other guys like Powell and Phillips and McKercher and these guys. We wanted to give them some exposure to the footy as well, so we'll probably explore that. We really wanted for him to try to consolidate his position at half back in the first half of the year, and then see in the second half of the year whether that was more midfield or mid forward opportunities. And we just might have to fast track that a little bit now. It'll depend a little bit on the balance of the side. To date, we've been keen on him to try and consolidate down back, but we'll see where that takes us over the next little while.
How'd you go injury-wise? Forward Phillips had knocks of it?
Yeah, I think Ford just got a knock to a hip that just had him pretty sore. So yeah, we took him out just after half time. As he was subbed out for Lazaro to come in, and I think Will Phillips has got a knock to the scon or the nose late in the game with a bit of bleeding. So, but he's okay from what I led to believe.
Will Wardlaw be available next week?
Yeah, he will. You know, as a collective, our side hasn't been playing well, and George hasn't been playing great footy either. But you know, we said all along with a really strong pre-season, and that he'd probably have a game or two where we managed him throughout the first half of the year in particular. And yeah, so we stuck to our guns on that, particularly around you know, his loads and that sort of stuff, and make sure that if there were any little red flags that we'd address those. So we've done that, and we'll see where it goes for next week.